Welcome to episode 41 of Confessions of an SEO. This is Carolyn Holzman, and yes, that means that there are only 11 more confessions in 2021. Yay for us! And congratulations, you have found the least tactical SEO podcast on the planet, and I will not make a liar out of myself this week. This is where we talk about the people side of SEO, agnostic information concerning SEO, from someone who has been on both sides, a brick and mortar business owner for a long time, and now a reformed client SEO of 12 years, now a seriously seeking researcher, tester, and consultant. In spite of my experience and client PTSD when it comes to client SEO, I believe the farmer and the cowboy should be friends, that there are mutual revenue opportunities when both sides understand each other's work better. So if you're an SEO, this is your SEO oasis, where your profession is respected and where you're expected to want to be better no matter how good you are. And for business owners and principals working with an SEO marketing group, I hope you hear something that will both illuminate your interactions with greater understanding and respect for the SEOs you're working with, and something that helps you understand what SEO is, and more importantly, what it isn't, to a point where you can evaluate SEO just a little better. Welcome to Confessions of an SEO. Oh boy, I still haven't gotten over last week's confessions, and if you missed it, it was field evidence on the impact of core web vitals on actual rankings. And I promise you, it's worth your time if you haven't heard it. And I'm pretty sure that when you listen to it afterwards, there's going to be at least 2 other people that you want to share it with. It's that important. I think this is going to be a show and tell episode this week. Remember back in the early days of Confessions, I did a freshman orientation. Yes, I'm using air bunnies. I think it was episode 6. Mentioned the possibility of different types of recurring formats. And I think this is the kind, this is kind of, I think, what I had in mind when I said I might share some of the things that I'm doing right now. So I'm having a ton of fun with my Google Index Stakeout project. If you don't have a clue what that's about, come on over, sit down, and I'll tell you all about it. Back in June, I started a weekly test to see if Google was indexing new content. By the end of August, 2 things changed. I started to test every day, and I started to share that data in real time publicly. You can search for Google Index Detector, and you will find it right at the top, she said confidently, because, well, actually, just look for American Way Media. Most people initially confused what I published as a tool, something that they could use to look at their site. Now, I find that endearing because it speaks to the heart of the matter. We're not used to holding Google accountable. We are far more accustomed and frankly comfortable checking ourselves and our sites for what we did wrong. It never occurred to me until I was already 4 years, I want to say, into SEO testing, that I considered Google might not be fully transparent and was perhaps not infallible. Don't judge me. You know you do too, and are possibly still, and I'm going to say 90%, under the spell of enchantment that Google's KPIs are the same as our KPIs. I started this index project to prove to myself that it wasn't my imagination. You know, in a world where people trade in opinion or the number of years they've been in SEO, I intend to bring receipts, which is why I opened the index project up to the world. Back in 2015, when I ran my first SEO test, and if you hang out, I might just tell you what I was testing. So, not important right now, but I'll tell you. Back then, one could create any number of test and control pages, submit them through the now defunct Submit to Google URL page, and within minutes, all of those pages were indexed, and within 30 minutes to an hour, you could have results that didn't move around. I am describing paradise. To my testing, SEO testing listeners, I know that sounds like SEO porn. Yep, I just called it that. All right, well, in comparison of then to now, I will have to quote Owen Wilson's character from the movie Armageddon. Testing in Google is the scariest environment imaginable. Maybe I exaggerate, but there are more moving parts that have to be accounted for, and indexing, being on or off, is one of those. So if you haven't caught on yet, I am driven by SEO testing. By the way, there's a growing segment of SEOs whose actions are guided by what Google actually responds to. I will have some specific information on an advanced SEO course based on this kind of testing for intermediate and advanced SEOs, and I'll tell you about it in a few minutes. Hang on. So getting back to the index project, another response that popped up, people that assured me that because their pages got indexed, my project was full of it. Funny, I don't see people saying about SEMrush's SEO weather tool, you know, when they show a high degree of volatility in their tracking, but somebody else's site wasn't moving around. You know, it's that same kind of thing. It's just going to be my site, which is designed to find out when Google is on or off in terms of indexing. But here's what I want to say about that. How helpful is it for the SEOs who are teaching other SEOs how to do things when those customers doing exactly what they are told to do are not getting indexed, but those who are teaching them have pages that are getting indexed? All those teachers have to say in response to their customers is, "You're doing it wrong." What a missed teaching opportunity. There are different methods to getting indexing. For instance, the index detector page on my site got indexed from the traffic within 48 hours. And indexing with traffic is on the docket for being tested, by the way. Some people use the Google indexing API. Now, I have a Google API indexing test running separate from the index project, so I'll know better how that works here in just a little while. And also, some sites are large, and it's possible that they get a higher priority, perhaps preferential treatment, if we can call it that, because of their traffic and size. The thing is, we really don't know definitively. And people will say, "Oh, your content isn't quality." Well, that's disprovable. Or your site is too small, the bots don't know about it, so they don't come. Well, that's disprovable. And you don't have enough backlinks. That's what? Anyway, watch this space. Now, the other thing I want to talk about today is SEO as a sport. Now, before I get into that, I promised you that I'd tell you about my first SEO test that I ran. Does Google reward content where the title and the H1 are identical or different? It was a question I read in an SEO forum, and there were equal opinions on both sides. Testing made that all knowable. Opinions are not necessary, and being able to run your tests is how you make the SEO playing field level. It no longer matters how long you've been in SEO, it just matters if you have the data to show how it is. So, okay, SEO as a sport. There's no doubt really that some of these niches are competitive. If you live in a place where there's more than 3 of what you do, you know what I mean. Jostling for that map listing, getting up higher on the page than your competitors are. And then there's also paid SEOs that are constantly in competition with each other. It's not like of course, everybody's in competition to get new business, but what I'm talking about is through their work. So their clients' pages fighting against your clients' pages, kind of like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I don't suppose you remember those, and perhaps I've dated myself. But anyway, I think there's some entertainment value in actively making SEO a sport. And it can be educational as well. I mean, how else can we really find that tipping point between on-page optimization and backlinks? Ooh, what did I just say? So I do know some non-SEOs listen, so I want to bring them up to speed. On-page optimization are all the things that appear on your actual page in order to make them more relevant for the topic, so that Google will reward your page with higher rankings within that search result when someone wants to know something in that search phrase for that business or the topic. It's a very deliberate action. Okay, it's not accidental. And typically, that means like the meta information, that's the information that Google and the Bing bots see, but you may not unless you're looking for it. And then there's also the content on the page that you do see. So that's the on-page optimization, the ongoing changes you make. Now, backlinks are other people's websites that have a link back to your site or to your page. There are services that only build backlinks because the demand is there, and some have committed to paying to have their content massively backlinked. Now, it's supposed to be naturally happening according to Google guidelines, which is why sometimes Google pushes out announcements that basically threaten to stop this car if people don't stop linking to each other. So anyway, so that's the background of on-page and then backlinks. So my thinking is, what if we could put on an SEO play, if you will, where we don't know the ending? Could we find a niche that might be backlink intimidating but flimsy on page? Is there a way to poke at that in a live field of search results to get a sense of maybe where that is? I know it sounds blasphemous. I mean, backlinks are the cure for all that ails you, right? Well, we don't know yet, but what if, right? So I'm going to start exploring ways to extract that SEO as a sport and combine it with this educational, which brings me to the guy who's trying to wreck every SEO and make it impossible for them to talk to other SEOs. No, I'm kidding. All right. There is an underground course by Lee Witcher. Yep, that is the guy from last week's episode who used the data to verify if Core Web Vitals was impacting ranking. Now, you're not going to see this course advertised, and I did tell him I was going to mention this on Confessions. He does not want you to sign up for the course, so he doesn't let you. You have to talk with him, and he's going to be the final filter on whether or not it's a good fit. And it is not cheap. In fact, if history holds, this will only get more expensive over time because the value is there. And it's fair, right? If he can't see how you're going to make an ROI, a way for you to make your money back from the course, he won't take your money. Now, this is only for intermediate and advanced SEOs. This is a live, unrecorded SEO training over 8 weeks where he shares what he's learned in his extensive testing. Now, to be fair, I think it has really blown the minds of a lot of people who've taken this course. Now, you also will pick a project before it starts, something that you want to rank or to rank better. And that's your course canvas. You don't have to share your niche if you don't want to, but you'll learn how to use some of these SEO tools in a way where literally the knowledge will rip open like a cornucopia, and create a path. Now, it is not a joke when I say what he teaches works very well regardless of what algorithm Google chooses to throw at us. I know this information took my SEO understanding to a point where I can now pick my own fights. And if I'm not winning, I know why. When you know why, you can take informed, precise action. You're not throwing things against a wall and hoping they stick or blindly following Google's guidelines. Gasp. So if you want to check it out, because this is audio, I'm not going to read out the whole long link. If you go to bit.ly/tested SEO. Sorry. Wow. All right. So it's bit.ly/tested SEO. Tell him that Carolyn sent you. Oh, wait a minute. Save that for the end of the conversation. No, there's no affiliate here. Just want to expand out the number of people who can get together and talk shop. All right. Well, that's going to do it for today. Thank you for listening. Appreciate receiving your questions and comments, which may be sent to Confessions@American Way Media. This type of content comes out of the SEO testing community. If you don't know what SEO testing is, or you're curious, yeah, it's just like in junior high, where you have a test format, hypothesis set up, then you track the results and do a summary. You can also check out episode 8, What is SEO Testing? You might find some interesting things in there. All right. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast wherever you are listening to it. And if you haven't done it yet, please do so, because without some sign, I might move on to other labor of love projects in the new year. Let your friends know about Confessions. If you want to share it with colleagues or business owners, just copy the URL of the episode. It's on Audible and Spotify, and if you haven't settled on one source for your podcast, you can just Google Confessions of an SEO. You cannot miss it. We all stand to make more business and success together when both the SEOs and the business owners understand each other better. It's been my pleasure to be your host. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you in the SERPs.